She's never won a Grand Slam. She's only 21 years old. But when Alex Eala touched down in New York for the US Open, the cameras caught a moment that sent the internet into a frenzy, and her Nike shirt sold out while Alcaraz and Sinner merch sat on shelves. The Eala Effect had officially taken over Manhattan, just days after her third-round exit in Cincinnati, where she fought through a 2-hour, 28-minute battle against world No. 10 Amanda Anisimova. The Filipina sensation was already on a plane to New York. Her Instagram story captured the moment with a simple but confident declaration, "I'm coming for you, NY." The post immediately went viral, racking up thousands of likes and comments from fans around the world. But the real frenzy didn't start until she arrived at the US Open grounds. When Eala stepped onto the practice courts at the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center, cameras captured something remarkable: a sea of Philippine flags already gathering outside the gates. Fans who had been following her across Washington, Toronto, and Cincinnati had now arrived in New York. The Filipino community in Queens, one of the largest in the United States, was already mobilizing for her opening matches. What stunned the tennis world wasn't just the crowd. It was what she was wearing. Eala had come to New York with a new kit, unveiled by Nike just days earlier. The centerpiece was a royal blue Nike Court Slam dress, priced at $140, featuring basketball-inspired mesh panels and a sleek racerback silhouette. The design paid homage to the New York stage, the same city where basketball and tennis intersect. Fans immediately drew comparisons to the iconic royal blue gown Pia Wurtzbach wore when she won Miss Universe in 2015. But it was the shirt that truly broke the internet. Nike had released Eala's first signature shirt, a black oversized tee priced at $42, featuring floral artwork and her name on the back. Within hours of the announcement, it had completely sold out. Tennis and fashion writer Jessica Schiffer confirmed the sellout, noting that merchandise from Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, and Aryna Sabalenka remained available. The shirt, which featured the Filipino phrases "Kung may itinanim, may aanihin," as you sow, so shall you reap, and "Kapag lumago, hindi na hihinto," never stop flourishing, had become an instant collector's item. By Wednesday afternoon, Nike's women's tennis storefront listed the Eala shirt as coming soon, signaling the potential for a restock after the overwhelming demand. But the viral moment didn't stop at merchandise. When cameras caught Eala walking through the US Open grounds, her royal blue dress shimmering under the New York sun, a confident smile on her face, the images spread like wildfire. The Eala Effect had arrived in Manhattan. What would you do if the biggest tournament in the world rolled out the red carpet for you, and your first signature shirt sold out in minutes? For Alex Eala, the answer was already clear. She would stay focused, she would stay humble, and she would prove that the girl with ruffled socks and light-up shoes belonged on the biggest stage of all. The US Open had prepared for her arrival. But they had no idea what was coming next, because when Alex Eala steps onto Arthur Ashe, she doesn't just bring a racket, she brings an entire nation with her. She had just announced her arrival with a simple Instagram story. "I'm coming for you, NY." But when Alex Eala stepped onto the US Open grounds, the first thing everyone noticed wasn't her confidence, it was what she was wearing. And the outfit sent a message that resonated far beyond the tennis world. The royal blue Nike Court Slam dress, priced at $140 or approximately P8,600, was more than just a tennis kit. It was a statement of identity. Nikes described the design as basketball-inspired, crafted from recycled materials, with large hole mesh panels along the back and sides that mimicked basketball nets. The sleek racerback silhouette was designed to sit seamlessly over a sports bra, while the striking, old royal colorway caught the attention of fans who interpreted it as a nod to the same shade of blue on the Philippine national flag. The symbolism was impossible to ignore. The dress was made from high-performance recycled polyester incorporating Nike's signature It technology, a lightweight material that would allow players to move comfortably on the court. But for the Filipino community in New York, the color meant something more. It was the same royal blue that had graced the country's national teams in basketball, football, and volleyball. It was the shade of the Philippine flag that had flown over every stadium Eala had packed across North America. Fans immediately drew comparisons to another iconic royal blue moment. When Pia Wurtzbach won Miss Universe in 2015, she wore a stunning royal blue gown that became etched in Philippine history. The comparison was not lost on fans, who saw Eala's dress as a similar declaration of Filipino pride on the world stage. The same shade of blue that had represented the country in beauty pageants and basketball courts was now representing it on tennis's biggest stage. The dress was just the beginning. Nike also released a customized Alex Eala shirt with a flower design, priced at $42 or approximately P2600. The shirt featured the Filipino phrases, "Kung may itinanim, may aanihin," as you sow, so shall you reap, and "Kapag lumago, hindi na hihinto," never stop flourishing. It was similar to Nike's previous campaigns with Eala, including the Sampaguita-inspired hair accessory and visor from Wimbledon. And it sold out almost immediately, while merchandise from Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, and Aryna Sabalenka remained available on the Nike website. The dress was currently available on the Nike US website in sizes XS through XL. While Nike US did not ship directly to the Philippines, local shoppers were advised to keep an eye on Nike's website for updates on availability in the country. The demand had already proven that the Eala Effect was not just about tennis, it was about a cultural movement that had taken over the sport. What would you do if your first signature shirt sold out while the biggest star's merchandise sat on shelves? For Alex Eala, the answer was already clear. She would stay focused. She would stay humble. And she would prove that the girl with ruffled socks and light-up shoes belonged on the biggest stage of all, in royal blue, with the entire nation behind her. The royal blue moment was just the beginning, and when Eala steps onto Arthur Ashe Stadium, the dress will be more than just a kit. It will be a symbol of everything she represents. She hadn't even struck a ball at the US Open. But Alex Eala had already achieved something that even the biggest names in tennis couldn't. Her $42 signature Nike shirt sold out in minutes, while merchandise from Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, and Aryna Sabalenka remained available. The Eala Effect had officially moved from the stands to the shelves. The black oversized tee featuring floral artwork and her name on the back alongside the iconic swoosh and "Just Do It" slogan was released to overwhelming demand. Tennis and fashion writer Jessica Schiffer confirmed the sellout, noting that all other newly released player merchandise remained available. When a follower asked whether Eala's shirt had actually sold out, or whether its disappearance was merely based on availability on Nike's US website, Schiffer was unequivocal. Yes, it sold out, but they may restock. The contrast was devastating, especially for Sabalenka. The world no. 1. The two-time defending US Open champion, the most dominant player in women's tennis for 2 years, watched as the 21-year-old Filipina outsold her in merchandise before a single point was played at Flushing Meadows. By Wednesday afternoon, Nike's women's tennis storefront listed the Eala shirt as coming soon, signaling the potential for a restock after the overwhelming demand. Nike's decision to give Eala a signature shirt at all was itself a statement. While Sabalenka was sharing a design with other players on Nike's roster, a fact that had already sparked fan outrage, Eala had received her own personalized merchandise and sold it out in one morning. The brand's priorities had shifted. The Eala Effect had reached the highest levels of corporate America. What would you do if a player ranked outside the top 5 sold out her signature shirt while the world #1's merchandise sat on shelves? For Nike, the answer was already clear. They would bet on the player who was selling out. They would put her face on billboards. They would make her the centerpiece of their US Open campaign. And for Aryna Sabalenka, the message was unmistakable. In Nike's eyes, the new face of women's tennis wasn't the one holding the #1 ranking. It was the one who could sell a $42 t-shirt to millions of passionate Filipino fans and sell it out before the tournament even began. The shirt that broke the internet was more than just merchandise. It was a symbol of a movement, and that movement was just getting started. She had already broken the internet with her sold-out shirt. But when Alex Eala stepped into New York Fashion Week, cameras captured a moment that sent the internet into an absolute frenzy. And the Eala Effect officially moved from the tennis courts to the fashion world. Just days after her $42 signature Nike shirt sold out in minutes, while merchandise from Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, and Aryna Sabalenka remained available, the 21-year-old Filipina sensation arrived at NYFW with a presence that rivaled the biggest names in the room. The royal blue Nike Court Slam dress she had unveiled for the US Open was already making waves. But it was something else that night that truly captured the world's attention. The moment that followed left everyone speechless. As Eala walked through the event, cameras caught a moment of connection that would be replayed millions of times across social media. But it wasn't just the fashion world that took notice. It was the entire Filipino community, which had already turned every tournament into a homecoming. The same community that had packed stadiums across North America, driven 8 hours from Toronto to watch her play, and planned college reunions around her matches. The Eala Effect had officially taken over Manhattan. With her signature Nike shirt now a collector's item, and her royal blue dress becoming the most talked about tennis fashion of the year, Eala had achieved something that even the biggest names in tennis couldn't match. She had become a global phenomenon, and the cameras couldn't look away. What would you do if the biggest fashion event in the world captured your eyes in a single unforgettable moment? For Alex Eala, the answer was already clear. She would stay focused, she would stay humble, and she would prove that the girl with ruffled socks and light-up shoes belonged on every stage. The tennis court, the fashion world, and anywhere else her journey would take her. The viral moment was just the beginning. And when Eala steps onto Arthur Ashe Stadium, the world will be watching. She had arrived with a sold-out shirt, a royal blue dress that stopped traffic, and a viral moment that had the internet buzzing. But when Alex Eala stepped into New York Fashion Week, she did something that cemented her status as a global icon beyond the tennis court. The moment was pure magic. Cameras caught the 21-year-old Filipina walking through the event, her royal blue Nike dress shimmering under the lights. But it wasn't just the outfit that had everyone talking. It was the way she carried herself. With the confidence of a champion, the grace of a veteran, and the humility that had endeared her to millions. And then, the moment that broke the internet. Sources close to the event described a scene that had everyone in the room stopping to watch. As Eala connected with fans and fellow attendees, she did something that reminded everyone why she had become a phenomenon. She didn't just pose for photos, she connected. She spoke to fans in Tagalog, thanked them for their support, and reminded them that she was still the same girl from Quezon City who had started with ruffled socks and light-up shoes. The viral video spread across social media within hours. Fans who had followed her journey from Washington to Toronto to Cincinnati watched the moment unfold on their screens. The same community that had packed stadiums across North America, driven 8 hours from Toronto to watch her play, and planned college reunions around her matches, now watched her conquer the fashion world. The Eala Effect had officially taken over Manhattan, and it didn't stop at New York Fashion Week. Her $42 signature Nike shirt had sold out in minutes. Her $140 royal blue Nike Court Slam dress had become the most talked about tennis fashion of the year. And the viral moment that captured her NYFW appearance had cemented her status as a global icon. "I'm coming for you, NY," she had posted on Instagram just days before, and she had delivered. What would you do if you had become a global sensation before winning a Grand Slam? For Alex Eala, the answer was already clear. She would stay focused, she would stay humble, and she would prove that the girl with ruffled socks and light-up shoes belonged on every stage. The tennis court, the fashion world, and anywhere else her journey would take her. The viral moment was just the beginning, and when Eala steps onto Arthur Ashe Stadium for the US Open main draw, the world will be watching. Because when Alex Eala arrives in New York, she doesn't just bring a racket, she brings an entire nation with her. And that is a force no one can stop. Ha!